that we're all here, we're all happy, and we're going to use our big voices today. So you tell me if you can't hear me, all right? All right. Not you, Norm. All right. So it's time for our opening song by Chris Dracup. Chris?
I was just a lonely boy running in the rain. Racing for the morning, racing for the day. Down the street to the world out, never knowing I was followed by her deep brown eyes. She was just a child, I was her greatest prize. All these dreams in blue, when I lift these arms up to you. All these dreams in blue, you lift my heart up to you. Tell me if you think it's true. All these such beautiful colors I used to. Just tell me if you think it's true. So I dream about the ocean, I dream of my own man, sleeping on the street, walking in the sand. Dream about the violin, lullaby, and the sound of the sea and the world passing. I dream about the gentle touch of your hand, the way you never taught me how to be a man. Only that the spirit would always speak to you, and if you were very quiet, why you could hear it too. Listen for the moment's here and gone, and there really is no answer, because the moment's never gone. All these dreams in blue, I lay these arms down to you.
Welcome to the Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. We teach the science of mind so that we can all live better lives and contribute to a world that works for everyone. I am practitioner Marilyn O'Leary, and we have others helping in service today. Our tech team is headed by Annette Martinez, supported by Mike Hacker and Tamara Williams. Our greeters, ushers, and welcomer are Linda Bowe, Carmela Herrera, Doug Bowe, and Carol Ann Armijo. And our musician is Chris Dracup, and we have more about Chris later. In the bookstore, we have Gilbert Arevalos, and on High Watch at home and in the center are Julia Washington, Kathy Mathiasen, Teresa Greco, and Levader Jones, among other practitioners. Our invocation and benediction are offered today by practitioner and board member Carol Helms, and our announcements will be read by Dr. Norm Dawson, who looks like a jock today. Norm. And our snack angels are led by Carol Ann Armijo. And our talk today is by our interim minister, Reverend Karen Lindsley, and is entitled, I'll Meet You There, which is in line with our monthly theme of going further together. So please join me now as we read our vision and our mission statements on our slide. I think you remember this. Let's just say it together. Our vision is transforming our world with the power of love and action. There we go. Let's say it again. Vision. Our mission, loving all creation through spiritual growth and service, always staying true to our highest self. And now it's time for our invocation, which will be given by practitioner Carol Helms. First, we will go to our, no, she's doing it. We don't know what the people at home are hearing. That's the problem. So I'm not sure if Carol is there or not. I don't know if Carol is doing her invocation now. She is?
Good morning, beautiful community. Good morning to a beautiful October morning and the RGCSL. Right now, I sink into the sunshine of this morning. And as I was walking in the yard with 4 anxious puppies, I was warmed by the sun, warmed by the Spirit, and thought, what a brilliant creator to say, I can keep everyone warm in the morning by just wrapping Spirit around them through the form of sunshine. And in that moment, I declare this day good. This day is good and very good. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the fall. When things fall to the ground and seemingly look destroyed, they're not. They're simply nourishing the earth for a beautiful spring. And I remember that, and I declare that good. I declare this day good. I say yes to this day. I say yes to Rio Grande spiritual living. I say yes to making a world, to committing to a world that works for everyone. So grateful this service today. I can hardly wait to get a roadmap to that place beyond that Reverend Karen is going to talk about this morning. I'm excited to know there is no division between my side of the street and your side of the street, that in fact there's a place beyond, and I can't wait to hear about it. And I'm so grateful for our sound and tech team, for our musician, for Marilyn and her service as platform assistant, for our ushers and greeters, for our food saints, for all who go into a lot of work and a lot of fun and a lot of community to put us on the air and in person every Sunday. I love this community. I love this life. I love Spirit. I love each of you. And I know right now we're just going to put on our seatbelts and ride this adventure with Reverend Karen this morning. And for this I say, and so it is.
And now it's time for our sacred reading, which will be given by Doug Bowe. And our reading is our sacred covenant by which we are calling to our new senior minister. And we know that our senior minister is out there calling to us. Doug, thank you.
Please join me. There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes the presence of a new minister for my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my new minister is to glorify God, I therefore know that my new minister is a revelation of God as unity. I further know that my new minister is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God. For it is written, so powerful is the light of unity that it can illuminate the whole earth. As I stand in agreement with my beloved community, I see my new minister revealed before me as unifying and growing our community. I now intend to experience my new minister in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this is truth about myself. For I am inspired to live in unity as an expression of the wholeness and love. As an expression of the wholeness and love. I am encouraging and supporting spiritual growth, awakening the wisdom within me. I am serving as a healer to all, applying the power of love, wisdom, and unity. I am generating engagement of the community in my mystical studies and spiritual teachings. I am collaborating with community organizations working in service of a world that works for everyone. As I now accept the highest expression of a new minister into my life, I know that they will be revealed in a way that will glorify God and serve the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by their presence. I am grateful God is gracious. So be it now. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Doug. And you know, we ask you to say this prayer every day as we call our ministers. So if you need a copy, you can get a copy back there or see Carmela. She has copies of these. And I think it's also on our website. Now it's time for our special music, and let's turn to our guest musician, Chris Dracup. Chris is a lifelong New Mexico musician who began his performing career at the age of 15 in his hometown of Taos. He has been a singer, songwriter, and lead guitarist with some of the state's most popular musical acts. His most recent project, Funk of the West. It's an energetic 6-piece dance band that combines authentic American blues and funk music with African polyrhythms. It sounds great. Can't wait to hear it, Chris. So now please welcome Chris Dracup.
Thank you all. I woke up this morning smiling with the rising sun. 3 little birds outside my doorstep singing sweet songs, melody pure and true, singing, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing. You know every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing. You know every little thing is gonna be alright. I woke up that morning smiling with the rising sun. 3 little birds sit by my doorstep, just singing sweet songs, melodies pure and true. Singing, this is my message to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing. You know every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing. You know every little thing is gonna be alright. You know every little thing is gonna be alright. Every little thing is gonna be alright. Been down low, let me tell you what I know. Been down low, let me tell you what I know. Been down low, let me tell you what I know. Been down low, let me tell you what I know.
All right. Well, we're waiting for Reverend Karen's to be fed in here, so it's not quite ready. So we will just stand by, which is what we've been doing this morning. But I think I will take a minute to talk about something. When Chris sang that song, it made me think about, the feeling of everything will be all right is in some ways elusive right now. And as I was driving here this morning, I thought, this is kind of a hard time. We thought we were getting over the pandemic, and then came that we have to wear a mask still, and we still have to be careful. And I think our job now is just to know that everything is going to be all right and just keep on. It's one foot in front of another. And it's not necessarily heroic, but it's, in a way, it is heroic. I mean, I'm thinking about Christmas coming, and, well, it's time. I want to get a tree again. And last year I got a tree, and it was during the pandemic. And this year it's going to be somewhat similar, I think. So we just have to keep on with that and keep knowing that Spirit is in us and guiding us through this. It's really important to know that. And whatever our challenges are, we know that Spirit is there with us. I think the most wonderful thing about this teaching is that we are one with Spirit. It's in us. It guides us. Whatever we ask for, if we ask for health, if we ask for abundance, if we need love, whatever it is, we know that if we express that and we are confident, that will be there for us. So I think that to me is the best message of what we can know as we continue to face this pandemic, and know that we're together. And I love being here because it makes me realize that this group brings and magnifies all the love that we have, so that it goes out to everyone. Is Chris going to play again?
We're going to ask Chris to play, and while he's playing, we want you all to move into so that you can hear Aaron speak. So if you go ahead and move in the
Great.
I'm here. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me. I really hope you can hear me. I'm not getting any feedback at all. So we'll see what happens here. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a great pleasure to be here. And I'm so looking forward to delivering this talk today. And, you know, earlier when Carol gave her benediction, her invocation rather, she said she was looking forward to hearing how I can meet you there, how we can meet folks there. And it occurred to me as I'm looking over my talk here that I really do not have any answers for you today. I'm going to tell you what I do and what I've done and what I continue to do because it helps. But I'm still not totally able to get to that place where I am feeling like I can meet them there. And part of it's my language, you know, I'll meet you there. It's an us and them kind of thing, which is part of the problem. It's a barrier. So for my talk today, I want to begin with where is there? You know, when we say I'll meet you there, where is this there place anyway that we are speaking of? And like anything else, I suspect that there are probably a lot of different points of view. But I want to address there from a Centers for Spiritual Living point of view, from a Science of Mind point of view. So in order to do that, I want to begin with the concept of oneness, because that's where there is, basically, is oneness. And oneness is something that we talk about all the time. And it's another one of those things that means different things to different people. So again, I'm going to share with you my concept of oneness, as I have learned from studying the teachings of Science of Mind for a long time. And for me, oneness means an irrevocable, unshakable, 24/7, deep-seated feeling that God and I are one, inseparable. It means I never speak of God in the third person. I never talk about God's will for me. You will not hear me asking for God's will or suggesting that it might be God's will that it happens in my life. You will never hear me talk that way, because that is not in my belief system. For me, oneness means oneness. And something came across my Facebook memories feed this morning that was quite wonderful. And it's a meme that I published a couple years ago. And it's a quote by Dr. J. Scott Neal, and it says, "God has no idea what will happen in your life until you decide." God is an energy force that we direct. That's my belief. And because God is an energy force, it is part of us and we are part of it. That's what oneness means to me. Here's another aspect of oneness. God is everywhere present. If I do believe, if we think of God as an energy force, yes, it is everywhere present. It's in you and in you and in you and in you and in me and in everyone. So oneness means we are all connected. So when we speak of meeting there, I believe that we are talking about meeting in the place where God is. But then God is inside of us and all around us and in everybody else. Even the folks who are speaking and acting and thinking and believing differently than us. God is in them too. So it's all a bit confusing, at least it is to me. And I have to remember that everything in this teaching, in this movement called New Thought, in this Centers for Spiritual Living thing, in this science of mind, everything begins within. And so in order to meet anyone there, I must first go within to where I myself can feel and know God. Not just think about it, not just say, oh yeah, I'm one with God, but feel it, know it. This means I have to move from that intellectual head space to my heart space. I have to move from the realm of thoughts and into the realm of feelings. It means I have to transcend all that intellectual headspace stuff, all that babble that comes from fear and ego and stubbornness and willingness and fear. And yes, I said fear twice. I did that on purpose. Because fear covers up the God space. And sometimes we can be in fear and not even know it. Fear makes it seem okay to say I'm right and you're wrong. Fear makes it seem okay to put up my barriers and live in a little self-centered, selfish world. Fear makes it okay to practice my confirmation bias. You know what confirmation bias is? Let's say we have a bias. It doesn't matter if it's a bias towards conservative or a bias towards liberal. That bias tells us we're going to seek out information that confirms our bias. And so if we're conservative, we're going to read articles that are written by right-leaning people. And if we're liberal, we're going to read articles that are written by left-leaning people. That's confirming our bias. And I'm here to suggest that we move outside of our confirmation bias and maybe only check articles and news sources that are right smack dab in the middle. Stay away from the left and the right. Go outside of our own little shell. That's another way we can meet people there. Back to fear. Fear makes it okay to judge. So in order to meet you there, I must first deal with my fear. And in order to deal with my fear, I must turn my attention away from the world and towards myself and go within and ask, what are the inherent opportunities available to me in this upset, in this fear that I am feeling? Because I can guarantee you that anytime we are in fear, anytime we are in upset, that's an opportunity for us to grow. It might not be very much fun when it's happening, but it's delightful when we finish and we're out the other end and we've experienced that growth and we know something we did not know before. So we need to move past this thing that tells us we can be a part of the solution. That's how we meet people there. And you know, I can't do a talk on meeting you there without that quote by Rumi. He said, out beyond ideas and of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field, and I will meet you there. Again, how do we do that? Our goal, you know, we get to be in divine communion with each other. And in divine communion with each other, we must have that divine communion within ourselves, that oneness piece, as within, so without. Everything begins within. If you don't go within, you go without. And I'm repeating this because it's really important. It is so easy for us to focus on what's out there. And the only way we're going to be able to meet people in a field that's beyond those ideas of right doing and wrong doing is to first go within and address our own fears and do what we need to do to get to that place where we experience communion with the divine. Communion is that place where we truly know ourselves. You know that expression, to thine own self be true. Communion is where we get that. Communion is where we know ourselves. We be still and we know. And when we know, all that fear melts away into the nothingness from which it came. And love comes into the forefront of our minds and our thoughts and our words and our deeds. And when we are in love, all of those appearances do not matter. And when those appearances do not matter, we are in that field in which we can successfully meet others and experience communion with them. And as I said in the beginning of the talk, I'm not there yet. I'm just not there yet. I can do it sometimes, but not all the time. This might be, this divine communion thing, this meeting people there, this might be one of the toughest things I've ever attempted to undertake in my life. But see, I know that there's a possibility to meet you there. I know there is a possibility to meet out beyond in that field, out beyond that field of wrongdoing and right doing. I know there's a place. So I have a little story for you about how I've attempted to meet people there and how it turned out. A couple of months ago, out here in rural Nevada where I live, I joined a local group in my neighborhood that wanted to put together a band. Now, you guys don't know this about me because I haven't said anything because I didn't want to be asked to get up and sing. Yes, I have the music in me. There's a song by Kiki D called I've Got the Music in Me, and I sing it regularly. Anyway, I'm a vocalist. I don't sing at church. That's not my shtick. I'm a minister. I'm not a pro. I just like to sing, and I happen to have enough training to get me into trouble. So I sing. So I thought I'd join this group. Now, I joined this group with full knowledge that 70% of the people who live in my neighborhood are conservative. And the reason I mention that will become clear in a bit because I'm liberal. So we have our first rehearsal in my garage. And on deciding what songs to perform, I realized that their genres are not my genres. They're talking and offering up all these country songs and old folk ballads that their parents used to listen to. And I've never heard of any of these songs, not a single one of them. I'm a jazz, rhythm, blues, soul music kind of girl. So the band leader and I got together and he worked with me and we came up with a couple of songs that were in that field where we could all meet. A couple of songs where he felt the rest of the group could successfully play and that I could sing. We came up with B.B. King's The Thrill Is Gone, and we came up with Summertime. And my favorite version of that is sung by Ella Fitzgerald. So we do Summertime. I got the sheet music with the vocals printed on it, and I began to learn this song. And it was difficult for me because they're all talking chords and I'm thinking in terms of notes. And so, but we did the song, and it actually, for the first time through, the first go around, it turned out pretty well. And I was really happy to see that we were meeting in this field. I was like ecstatic. Yeah, see, we can meet in the field. This is wonderful. And I was so happy to be a part of this group and so happy to be with some of these folks. And then when the song was done, and I'm basking in the glow of something that we did together, that we performed out in the field, the wife of one of the musicians leans over to me and she says, "Is that a black spiritual?" And I was shocked and speechless. I could not figure out a way to respond to such a ludicrous question in a kind manner. Thank God the band leader stepped in for me. And he was kind of curt in his response. He said, actually, it was written by a white guy. And then we moved on. And my bubble was burst. And I was reminded of precisely how far I have to go to meet some folks out there in that field beyond right and wrong. We finished our rehearsal, and I actually felt pretty good for the most part about everything that happened there. And I left thinking, well, I can learn some country songs. It's not abhorrent to me. I've just never listened to it. It's just not in my realm of consciousness. And I can meet them in some sort of field, and I can go sing with them. Well, that wasn't to happen either, because they proceeded to schedule the rest of their rehearsals at a bar down the road, in a place that is known in my little liberal group as COVID Alley. No one wears masks there. No one social distances. They smoke and they drink like little fishies there. Now, I'm a sober alcoholic and I'm allergic to secondhand smoke. So I can't go to the bar. I just can't. There's so many reasons why I cannot go to this bar. And I happen to know that they rant and rave about liberals in this bar. So there's all kinds of boundaries that I have set for myself. I'm not, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't hang out where there's secondhand cigarette smoke. I'm certainly not going to go to a place that's known as COVID Alley. And so I had to withdraw from the group. Not only that, but they proceeded to get a lineup of more country songs that I never heard of. And the song suggestions that I was making were not going over very well. So we made nice music at that one rehearsal, and they continue to make nice music. But I'm not going to join them in a bar to sing country music. That's a bit too far out there in the field for me. So yeah, I've got some work to do. I have some work to do. I tried. I gave it my best. I did what I could, and that's all we can do, is do what we can. And we get to do our spiritual practices even more. We get to retreat even more and get into that place of communion with ourselves even more, so that we can then venture out again and once again move towards that place of meeting people in the field out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing. It's tough, because what are we to do when the goal is to meet in a field and there's such a division that one despairs of it never happening? What are we to do when that field seems unreachable? This is the tough piece that Marilyn O'Leary was speaking about when we were doing the technical stuff. That's the place. That's what's making this time in our lives so tough. And what I know to be true is that prayer and treatment and meditation and spiritual study works. It is all powerful stuff. And so I do pray, I do treat, I do meditate, I do continue my spiritual study. I do go to that place of divine communion within myself, and I do it again and again and yet again. And I get to that place where I know and I feel the presence of that spirit within me. And then I know that somehow there is a way. And it's not up to me to know the way. We call that outlining in this movement. And if you take a class in treatment, like foundations, you'll learn about outlining. It's just up to me to be willing. We have to be willing. We have to continue to do our spiritual practices. Treatment, meditation, spiritual study, prayer, all of it. This is the big whammy, folks. This is where we have to do more study, more spiritual practices, more of all of that. Because it is essential now more than ever that we meet people out in that field beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing. And When we do our spiritual practices and we know and we experience that divine communion, then we move into that place of creativity, that absolutely glorious place of creativity. Then you can get together a group of people who mostly play country and somebody who likes jazz, and you can create something new and call it fusion. And if we can experience fusion in music, and there is a lot of fusion in music, we can experience fusion everywhere else in life. And perhaps that is the field. Perhaps fusion is the field that's out there beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing. Here's the rest of that Rumi quote. He says, out beyond the ideas of wrongdoing and right doing is a field. I'll meet you there. And then he says, when the soul lies down in the grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas and language and even the phrase each other doesn't make any sense. And so at that first rehearsal when we met and we created a song that was a little bit of this and a little bit of that, we didn't create the song. We found the song. There was a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And we were able to come together and make good music together. There was no each other there. We just did a nice, beautiful song, and we did a pretty decent job at it because all those other people are pretty decent musicians. The phrase each other did not make any sense. That's how we meet people there. It means there's no other. No other. But we first have to find that place in ourselves. And guess what? This is where we get to look at that there might be a new normal for ourselves. A new way of thinking. A place where we meet in our own field and we say, you know what? I'm done with duality. I'm done with us and them. I'm done with ideas of right doing and wrong doing. I'm done with all that dualistic stuff. Ernest Holmes has a great definition of duality, and it's one of my most favorite quotes. This is in the Science of Mind textbook in the glossary in the back, and he says, the belief in duality has robbed theology of power and has polluted philosophy with untruths. It has divided science against itself and has made countless thousands go through life with saddened hearts. Duality has been believed in since time immemorial and indeed is still believed in by many. And by duality, we mean a belief in more than one power back of all things. So in that field of duality that a lot of us are living in right now, our call is to move to a different field. We need to get out of that field of us and them. We need to get out of that field of other. We get to go into that place of divine communion and explore a new normal for ourselves. If we stay in the field of right and wrong duality, we will never experience the true freedom and love of the universe. We must let go of old stories and beliefs and hurts and fears and angers. We don't do this by wrestling with them or fighting them. We do this by returning to source, returning to that source which is our freedom. We spend each day taking an area of concern, whether it's personal or global, and we sit with attention turned inward, and we invite that God part of us to shed light on the circumstance. And then we listen without analyzing to the wisdom that might seem from beyond the veil, but yet it's always living inside of us. So that's our call this week. It's a big call. I invite you to consider it. I certainly am. And here's the affirmation that I want to close with. I step out beyond my old limiting ideas into a fresh new field of freedom. Let's pray. And so I do acknowledge that thing, that energy force, that presence called God. I know this God is everywhere present. I know this God is living and working and moving and breathing in and as and through me, and in and as and through everyone else. I feel this God now. I know this God now. I experience this God now. This God is a part of me. And so I know today, and I am affirming today, that I am stepping out beyond my old limiting ideas. Those ideas are done. They're gone. And new ideas are coming forth in me. God and I, we are co-creating this new place, these new ideas, new beliefs, new thoughts. And from this place, we are stepping into a brand new and fresh and delightful new field of total and complete freedom. And in stepping into that field of freedom, we are experiencing joy and peace and delight with the world and our place in it. And so it is with great gratitude that I release my words into that law, knowing that it has taken them and is saying an enthusiastic yes, and acting on them even as I speak. And I anchor with those wonderful words, and so it is. Thank you.
And we really, really needed that message. Thank you, Reverend Karen. Now it's time to share our abundance. There are multiple ways to give scrolling across the screen now. They're easy and they're effective, and we need you to contribute. We also have baskets for people who are here. Your offerings are really essential to our ministries continuing, and we're grateful for everything that you can share with us. So let's say the giving affirmation with me, please. I am abundant, and I give from my abundance. I am prosperous, and I give from my prosperity. I am blessed, and I give from my blessings. My blessings of spirit are as abundant as the stars, and so I give and receive generously, and so it is. And now we're going to have another song from our guest musician, Chris Dracup.
Place. Ain't nobody worried, ain't nobody crying, ain't no smiling faces, lying to the races. So come on if you're ready, I'll take you there. Come on, help me now. I'll take you there. I know a place. Ain't nobody worried. There ain't nobody crying. Ain't no smiling faces. Lying to the races. So come on if you're ready, I'll take you there. Come on, get walking, I'll take you there. Come on if you're ready, I'll take you there. Come on, help me now, I'll take you there. Lord, I know a place. There ain't nobody worried. Ain't nobody crying. Ain't no smiling faces. Lying to the races. So come on if you're ready. I'll take you there. Come on, help me now. I'll take you there. Come on, we're walking. I'll take you there. Come on if you're ready. I'll take you there. Come on if you're ready. I'll take you there. Come on, won't you help me?
Thank you, Chris. So please help me bless these offerings. O divine giver of life, we gratefully accept these and all your gifts on behalf of our congregation and its ministry. We honor each gift and giver and declare that our abundance is increased 1,000-fold. And so it is. We are always delighted to welcome visitors to our center. If you're here for the first time this morning, please see Carol Ann Armijo at the welcome table in the back of the sanctuary. She has a little flower for you and some information. And if you're online and you're new, drop by the center or give us a call. We'd love to meet you and talk with you. Our licensed practitioners are ready to support you with a mini prayer treatment after service. So if you see anybody with a purple stole, I'm one person, or the chaplain stoles, we have Carmela and Talia. Marilyn Kirk is in the back with her purple stole, and she is ready, and we are all ready to pray with you. So after the service, we'll be up here near the front by the red chairs. And you can just grab one of us and you'll be able to get a mini treatment. We also invite you to use the prayer request box that's on the back table. These forms, prayer request forms, are beside the box, and you'll also find them in the pocket of the chairs in front of you, and just take them back there and put them in the little prayer box, and practitioners pray over those during the week for you. And so now we have something special this morning. We have some new members in our congregation, And I'm going to turn this over to Reverend Karen now.
Hello again, everybody. Yes, I am so delighted to welcome some new members. Carol Helms is going to be helping me with this presentation this morning. We held a new member orientation last Wednesday night, and I am very happy to say that 4 people showed up to this orientation. Well, actually, we had 8 or 9 people there, along with all the practitioners that were there supporting us, supporting me and our new members in this endeavor. We sat and talked about treatment and spiritual studies and classes and the teachings of science of mind and the structure of this thing called church and all kinds of wonderful, yummy stuff for 3 hours on Wednesday night. And I am very happy to welcome these absolutely glorious 4 people to our fold this morning. And I think the way it's going to happen is Carol's going to individually ask them to come up, and someone in person there at the center is ready with their new member certificates. So we're truly doing a hybrid today. Yes, there's Marilyn with those certificates. So Carol, your mic is muted, so unmute your mic there.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, I think Marilyn may have to read the names for us because I don't have the names in front of me remotely, apologetically.
Okay, Marilyn, you're up.
We're going to be new members. And I will read their names, and then I'm not sure. When I read your name, why don't you come up here and I'll give you your certificate. So we'll start with Cheryl Elia. Cheryl Elia. Come on up, Cheryl. Thank you, sweetheart. So just stay up here. The next person is Liz Hamilton. Liz, come on up. Yes. Thank you. We have Gilbert Aravalos. Gilbert, come on up. Yay, Gilbert. There you are. And our 4th person is Susan Solari. Susan, we're so happy. Thank you. Carol, it's back to you.
Actually, I'll take it from here because you 4 people, you 4 beautiful people, I'm so happy to welcome you to Rio Grande Center for Spiritual Living. I am so happy to see you all up there. And looking at you on the screen, I'm seeing some very tall people. Very tall people over there, and because I'm 5 feet tall, and I don't know how tall Marilyn is, but you are all towering over her. And from my view of the screen, it's fun. I'm having some fun with it. So thank you, the members of the audience that are there in person. I want you guys all to make sure that these folks are welcomed into the fold. Some of them are already actively volunteering. I know that Susan is getting ready to enter practitioner studies. I know that Gilbert is working in the bookstore. I know that Liz has been there every Sunday, at least since I've been here, I think. And Sharon, I don't know you. I know you're doing stuff there, but I'm really happy to have you. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Folks, give them, please, a nice round of applause. And then after the service, make sure you make them feel welcome. Thank you. Back to you, Marilyn, and whatever it is we're going to be doing next.
All right, thank you. Please take your seats. Thank you all. And now we have our announcements with Dr. Norm Dawson. That will be followed by our benediction in closing. Norm, look at you. You're gorgeous.
Good morning, everybody. Karen, if you're still watching, I'm pretty tall. Okay, let's see. We have a very special announcement here. Happening is going to be on October 31st. Tammy Lambert and Annette Martinez have a shared special tradition that they're going to be doing. It's called, see if I can pronounce this right, Dia de los Muertos. I think it means Day of the Dead. Ancestral Blessing Ceremony on October 31st here in the sanctuary here at 10 o'clock a.m. Sunday. So that's what we're going to be doing Sunday. And can you all hear me okay? Can you hear me? Okay. Oh, you can't hear me? Okay. So be sure to bring a photo with you of a loved one, and they can be included in this process. And also, if you have a favorite food or a recipe, well, actually food, bring the food, because we're going to celebrate back there with the food for the people that were not here with us. You know, it could be your favorite dish or whatever. So we're going to share the day with these folks and together here. So that's October 31st. Okay, you guys remember that book sale that was going on here for a while? That book sale, it's gone. You missed out. But the new thing that we're having here is called a fair trade line of products. What that means is that there are people in 40 artisan groups in 20 different countries that are making things, and there are vendors that support these people by helping to generate income for these individuals. And to make sure that these people get paid and ensure that they are in good working conditions. So these are products are now available in our bookstore. Now, the holidays are coming up, and you got to start thinking about how you're going to spend your money on Christmas items, so be sure you think about that. And they also have consignment items back there and donated inventory. So be sure you spend a little time in the bookstore today or next week or soon. Okay, I'm going to buzz through these other ones because they're in the bulletin. But basically, I want to make sure I mention the Compassion Ministries. They come up with some really great resources every now and then, well, every month actually. This one here is called Innovate PACE program. It's an elderly care program. It's an alternative healthcare program. How many of you have ever had somebody in a nursing home? Yeah. Okay, what this program is going to do, it allows people to stay home. It's funded partially or mostly by Medicare, Medicaid, and that means that it's going to provide health care, social engagement, so they can stay independent. It also takes care of a lot of the other issues that involve medications, coordination, transportation, meals. So this is a great program. So check it out in case you know of somebody that is ready to go there. It would be something that I'd be checking into if I was ready to do that, but I'm not. And I just want to mention real quick the Celebration of Life Grief Support Group. That happens the second and fourth Wednesday of each month, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock right here. And then there's a Course in Miracles that's done every Thursday from 6 to 7:30 by Nancy Bowers. How many of you remember that new minister search video we did last week? How many of, I'm not going to ask, but you should be watching that on a regular basis and sharing this video with other people, because that vibration, that energy goes out to the whole world. And the more we share it and the more people see it, the more we're going to create that spiritual awareness here. So be sure you watch it again and share it with other people. So, live from New York, I'm sorry, New Mexico, Sunday morning announcements is over.
And please remember when the service is over that we have some celebration food, and we have a little party in the social hall, so please come back there. And now it's time for our benediction with Carol Helms.
used to be down, baby, but I ain't down no more. Well, I used to be down, honey, but I ain't down no more. I'm gonna change my way living, baby, gonna help my mind and help my soul. Used to get up early in the morning for that rooster crow for day. I used to get up early in the morning for that rooster crow for day. Yeah, song in my heart, head on down the road that way. Well, I know you're gonna jump, babe, I know you might jump and shout. Well, I know we're gonna jump up, I know we're gonna jump and shout. I feel it in my heart, Lord, Lord, let it on out. Baby, gonna help my mind and help my soul. Well, one of these days, I'm gonna show you just how good a man can be. Well, one of these days, I'm gonna show you how to set yourself free. I'll be singing in the morning, Lord, play my used to be down, honey, but I ain't down no more. I done changed my way living, baby, done help my mind, help my soul. Change my way of living, oh, to help my mind and help my soul.